Oh, what's up, everybody? I'm about to head to bed, but I'll tell you what, I just had to share this replay with you guys. Uh, we did it, boys and girls. This is Kraken. We did Sunray in the Dark. Or sorry, no. This is Saving Transylvania, hard mode. And I wanted to share how we did it. Note, I am running the Ace Combat 4 voice mod, which is just hilarious with the garbled sound effects, voices. Now we tried something different here. I suggested to the group that we don't get into the circle of Transylvania right away. By the way, look at Transylvania. Is it with an I or a Y? Who knows? Anyway, I can't unsee that now. Thanks, Griefer, for pointing that out. I think it was Griefer. You'll note that everybody is basically just barely outside of the circle. Because big, heavy battleships go forward. We don't know how to turn them otherwise. So they ended up having to make like a 5-point turn. Pro tip, if you're a battleship player at the start, just start by hitting S and turning your ship one way or the other for about 30 seconds or a minute, and then move forward. And then you'd be better off than these guys were. But anyway, we went for double jackal, one Igor, and triple jackal, one Igor, and triple blade. The blades are indispensable. You absolutely have to keep the Transylvania smoked up. And then, of course, the jackals are very important for taking out those catapults as early as possible. And of course, sometimes they get that blappy on the Mikasa. So in super hard mode, the Mikasas they heal so quickly that fire, damage over time, flood, it really doesn't matter. Same thing for Rasputin. So you're far better off going for the alpha damage. Either the torpedo alpha damage or the battleship alpha damage, and that's kind of why we only brought the one Igor. So Silent's job is basically to stay in the circle once we activate Transylvania, and you'll see we end up activating Transylvania at about the 17-minute mark. Early game, it's kind of slow. Where the whole idea here is we wanted to get the battleships ahead of Transylvania. We felt that was really important. You'll see later there's a good opportunity for us to fail, because one of the biggest, most important things for this mode is to keep your destroyers in front of Transylvania. I'm just speeding up the replay a little bit because it gets boring at the beginning here. As you can see, we spotted a couple more of the catapults, and then our jackals are able to take them out. Zikasa spawns in a little bit different for us, just because it's based off of where the Transylvania is, I think, and where the other ships are. And as you can see, it spawned right in front of Edge and I, so Edge and I were both able to take him down. Now, what you're not going to see here, because it doesn't display my torpedo indicator. Oh, it does. But what I actually did there is before I fired, I actually hit the X key to remove the shots, and that was kind of important in order to ensure. I'm going to turn the audio down just a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the sound effects just got like a little bit too loud. That's better on my ears. So we used the torpedoes to do the typical blappy blap stuff. So Tedster called an all stop. We all kind of stopped, and well, we're basically we're letting Tedster jump in the front, and you can see he nailed the catapult, but he's also at 2/3 health, so he's a little bit on the damage side of things. And we talked to him about getting back. The interesting thing is, you'll notice that Transylvania is really far behind because there's only one ship with him. We have a theory that there's a maximum speed it can go after about two or three ships. Just now I was checking out the flags because I was noticing that some people in the div were playing hard mode or very hard mode without all combat flags, and even one person had Juliet Charlie. Now there's no need to bring protection into operations because there's no chance of detonation. So, you know, if you definitely want like the heal booster, you definitely want like fire, flood reduction, but the heal booster is by far the most important. Fires don't tick as much. Speed flag, very important for everybody. Griefer is now reversing back to get the Transylvania moving a little bit quicker. And I think, I mean, that helps, but also takes one destroyer off the line, and that makes things a little bit more precarious. As you can see, our job now is basically just to go in and nail the Zikasas that are coming in. Edge Case is working on the northern Zikasa there. I'm working a little bit on that eastern one, and I'm angling in so that I can nail the southern one. One behind there in H34 area isn't too much of a threat because, well, it's slow and it probably won't get in range in time. Remember, in order to 5-star, we have to kill Rasputin, but we also have to ensure that nobody enters the circle around the Transylvania, and we also have to ensure that the Transylvania never stops. So we always have to have somebody in the circle. So that's part of the reason why we waited to activate Transylvania 3 minutes, and I think that that's a key to the success of this mission. Also, really good communication is very important. Calling out targets, who's going to shoot who, is really good. You're also going to want to see people talking through their smoke rotations, who's smoking whom, that sort of thing. I could have torped here, I didn't. I probably should have, because torpedoes reload quickly enough to where I don't know that it really matters if I hit, you know, shot or held my torps. So, just some food for thought. Those Zikasas in the back are not a threat. Silent is literally just farming them for damage because there's no way that they can catch up. So you're wasting your time trying to go after them. This mode is only available if you manually go into it in a division, and I think that's very wise. If this mode were to be released as a op of the week, specifically hard mode, very hard mode, there'd be an awful lot of toxicity just from people screaming at each other, not knowing how to interact. And let's face it, if it's text only, that becomes a challenge as well. Voice communication just comes in really handy. Alright, I'm gonna click away, take a look. I want to draw your attention over. See now, Griefer is in position at the front of Transylvania. He's getting prepared to do some smoking once we call for it. And that's why it's so important having the 3 destroyers, because you have the ability to keep that smoke chain going. Now, you'll see there's a little bit of confusion up ahead, and as a result I'm going to take some damage right there, mainly because I'm trying to understand what's going on in voice, and as a result I'm not adjusting my direction at all. The easiest way to dodge the catapults, even as a destroyer, is to simply use your WASD. I know it sounds silly, but even just a little bit of just a little bit of A or D to turn one way or the other will work. I decided I took a lot of damage, so I came back to Transylvania, figured I'd smoke. I saw a Silent there, so I figured I'd you know, rub my butt in his face because it's fun. And then I'm going to loop back around and get in the smoke. You'll see Griefer is now taking up a position in front of that smoke, or the head of the smoke, so he can start smoking as well. And at this point, this is when it becomes really important to communicate with your destroyers. So you might notice that Edge Case is over here, and we told them, okay, Edge, you've got next. Well, what exactly does that mean? That means you've got about 30 seconds to get here, because Griefer is going to be deploying smoke for about 30 seconds. He didn't realize that at first, and that caused a gap in the smoke. Fortunately, this is early on in the part. It's not the part with Rasputin to where it was as crucial, but still, that could have had some dire consequences. I didn't fire my second rack because I had hit the X button and I had thought that it fired, but apparently it didn't. I don't know why I'm encountering this problem, but it's like I think that the torpedoes are shooting, and then I look away, and then I look back and I realize, nope, they didn't fire. Oh well. So these guys up here aren't as much of a threat as these two up here in the front. I probably should have gone for these guys, but as you can see, there's focus fire being called on these. So I let the battleships do their job. I saw Edge Case's position, and I figured, let's try to get these guys out. But then I noticed, right here, see, here's the gap in the smoke. So Edge was not prepared, and I've got 30 seconds to my smoke. By the time Edge Case gets here and smokes, my smoke is available anyways. And you can see Edge is now making for the Transylvania so he could smoke. And there's the smoke. So we are a little bit off on our smoke coordination. Like I said, fortunately it did not cost us much health. And a big part of that is because of our whole plan of get the catapults first. So the Transylvania was spotted, but nothing really dangerous shot at it. Of course, with Rasputin, that's very important too. You want to make sure that once Rasputin is on the board, that the Transylvania is not detected. So you can see me coming into place now. Now my horn, I have it tied to my push to talk button, which is my whatever, it's my thumb button on my mouse. So anytime you hear the horn going off, it's not me just, you know, hitting the horn. It's actually me communicating with my team and chatting with them. So if you want, go back into the replay and listen to how many times I hit my horn. We're constantly communicating and constantly picking out targets and stuff. I'm calling out when my smoke is ending. That's what that one was just now, was saying my smoke is over, next. And you can see Griefer now coming into position there, and now Griefer is starting to smoke. There he goes. Once the portal is in sight, the Transylvania goes straight for it. So we see that there's a Zikasa left on the board. We want to get him off because he will try to get into that circle and stop Transylvania. So will Rasputin. And Griefer goes down to Rasputin secondaries, and at this point I realize that either we get this kill or we lose that 5th star. So I decide to be a little ballsy here and get out in front and get spotted. Immediately I'm targeted, which means the guns from Rasputin are looking at me, as Eldenari calls out that he's going to ram. Because he's going to ram, I shoot exactly where he is, and then look at I'm turning in. This is important because he's going to fire. I'm waiting. There it is. Look at how much damage I took, but more importantly, look at the fact that I'm alive. When you start playing this, you'll find yourself getting one-shotted by Rasputin. That happened to me earlier, and it's actually because I was turning. Here comes another situation right here. Boom. Again, because I'm turning, Rasputin could not shoot me, and now we're all stupidly excited, giddy, laughing, screaming, hollering, ready to hit our screenshot key as Tedster goes and does the boop. And that's it. Now we're all cheering. Now we're all excited because we just 5-starred this freaking mode. Oh my god. What a hoot. It took us 2 tries tonight. I know that the other guys were playing heavily last night to try to make it happen as well. But hopefully this helps you get an idea of what's needed in order to 5-star the op. Take care, guys. See you all later. Bye.